Part 2, Caleb and Sophia, the Petal Flies Code. A Witch Tower Society. At 25, 35, and 48 seconds into the Be Generous film, Sophia is shown in a spooky Kingdom Hall fog scene, standing next to a faux palm plant. The faux palm plant is a reed, R-E-E-D, a tall grass with slender and prominently jointed stems. Tall and slender, hence, Sophia. Another meaning for reed is a person or thing too weak to rely on, one easily swayed or overcome. This is to say, Sophia. We know this because at 30 seconds, Sophia is shown being swayed, then overcome by the simple act of her mother donating. Sophia has just unknowingly bought into, then initiated into, the kingdom of the cult, to borrow the phrase of Dr. Walter Martin. Now, at 51 seconds, the Watchtower artist gives a close-up of the coin on Sophia's hand. This is 1, palmistry, and 2, the pentacle of witchcraft. Notice, Sophia's fingers are upright, which symbolize the 5-pointed star or pentagram in witchcraft, where the coin, as the ring or disc, is the symbol for the pentacle used therein. Consider this from occultworld.com, and I quote, "The pentacle, a 5-pointed star with a single point upright, is the most important symbol of contemporary witchcraft. In craft rituals and magic, the pentacle is a round disc. Many witches wear a pentacle pendant or ring as a sign of their religion. Most are made of silver." Close quote. At 27 seconds, notice that Sophia is holding the coin at the center of her neck, where a necklace hangs. Look closely, there is what looks like a small bubble. This represents the bail or hole of the necklace where the chain passes through. Notice Sophia's chin is turned up. This represents Sophia being proud of her new gift. But the thing Sophia is not aware of is the shiny new gift is a witch's pentacle. That makes her an honorary initiate into witchcraft. Cross the hall. Now, as for the fog throughout the Be Generous film, consider this from the website, themanatnami.tumblr.com, we find, and I quote, "In many literary sources, witches of both historical senses and fiction harness fog as a powerful tool. Often, fog is seen as an important tool for spirit work, both fictionally and modernly due to its relations of being a liminal space and therefore seen as easier to contact spirits with the barriers weaker when it arrives." What is a liminal space? It means a transforming space. Often they are associated with spirit work, energy work, astral work, and overall witchcraft. Some call these places or areas, places where one area in time stops and another begins. In many cases, places that are covered by fog often are said to be liminal spaces. It turns something mundane looking to mysterious, confusing, and even to some creepy. Fog is often used to represent the veil between worlds and afterlife, often used in settings of literature and movies by covering graveyards before something supernatural. Often when many people who don't practice the craft think of supernatural energies and the veil, they imagine a foggy night or a wall of fog. This imagery is for a reason. Close quote. That hallways or halls by definition are transforming or liminal spaces, simply places where one area stops and another begins. The Watchtower artist could fittingly conceal the secret substance of witchcraft behind the mundane or commonplace of all. Notice, the fog outside is thicker than the fog inside. How did the fog get inside? It crossed the Kingdom Hall, where the Kingdom Hall is the liminal space of witchcraft. Any other words, to borrow from the above quote, the fog is used to represent the veil between worlds and afterlife, where it is easier to contact spirits. At the risk of seemingly contradicting my research, for nearly 3 decades of being a Jehovah's Witness, and anxiously waiting for that new system, the Kingdom Hall was that space between two very different spaces, a liminal lug in limbo between two opposing worlds, one pulling at my back, and the other I was straining towards. I am often haunted by having hung around, and there was nothing magical about it, not even being suspended. But still we know the Kingdom Hall fog scene at 32 to 33 seconds is about witchcraft because, with the exception of a bank, tell us, who keeps money next to windows? Consider this from the website, travelweights.com, we get, and I quote, some people call them Vermont windows after the state where they're most commonly found. Others refer to them as coffin windows. But their most common moniker, witch windows, is the best of all. While it can be called many things, a witch window nearly always looks the same. It's a rectangular, double-hung sash. Close quote. One rectangular single-hung sash plus one rectangular single-hung sash equal a rectangular double-hung sash. Now, as regards sash, while the sash around Sophia's body or frame is intact at from 2 seconds, where the sash after 6 seconds is mangled, which means Sophia's dress was forced off and she was violated. Notice in both scenes, the shadow line on the back of Sophia's dress shows the outline of a mature body as if the dress were see-through. Sash, states the Etymology Online Dictionary, and I quote, mangled Englishing of French chassis, frame. Close quote. Anna and Graham. The name Caleb as an anagram, a word formed from another by rearranging its letters, makes cable, where in Sohia, as an anagram, makes the word poisha. The meaning of cable is rope for halter, and the meaning of poisha is coin for trade. What comes to mind is kidnapping for human trafficking. That the Watchtower Bible and Tract Society boasts of being the leader of over 8.6 million Jehovah's Witnesses worldwide. The implication is global, in-house, child trafficking, and I wonder if the Watchtower Society keeps a secret database on missing children. GWs, if this all seems to be much too much, I wonder what hidden messages I am overlooking. When I thought that I covered the subject adequately, I was not even close. One of the many things I overlooked was, at the beginning of the film, there were no freckles on Sophia's face, where by the end of the film, there were freckles on the little girl's face. The meanings here are defaced, spotted, stained, and demoralized. Unless I missee, there are inconspicuous freckles on the face of Sophia's mom, though covered over by makeup. The other meaning here, it seems, is that Sohia in this scene depicts a different real-life person, Jennifer Haw, who has freckles, and who, in 2005, at the age of 4, was sexually molested in the coat room at the Kingdom Hall, which means the elder ice cream vendor in the Be Generous film portrays one of the organization's serial child predators. Now the biggest thing I discovered was Caleb. Although Caleb is missing and cannot be seen in the film, he is there. I'll disclose Caleb's whereabouts soon. JWs, if you cannot perceive that such abysmal evil can be hidden in your leader's productions, consider this. At jw.org, we find under the heading, You Spread Rumors, and I quote, even the Watchtower Society's publications have been the subject of rumors. For example, that one of the artists had secretly been introducing pictures of demons into the illustrations was subsequently found out and disfellowshipped. Close quote. Again at jw.org, under the heading, Upon the Watchtower I Am Standing, we find this admission, and I quote, The Watchtower and Awake. And every page, including the artwork, scrutinized by selected members of the governing body before it is printed. Furthermore, those who assist in writing articles for the Watchtower are Christian elders who appreciate the seriousness of their assignment. They spend many hours in researching the Bible and other reference material to make sure that what is written is the truth and that it faithfully follows the scriptures. It is not unusual for one magazine article that you may read in 15 minutes to take from 2 weeks to over a month to prepare. Close quote. Is the Watchtower Society's artist a sexually frustrated, maggot brain, mentally diseased, megalomaniaco, degenerate, psychopath, rank, and pedophile elder accomplice of a governing body snatcher? Is he or she a lone predator? Or is the artist another whistleblower, sending us a message? Whatever is the answer, Watchtower Society, riddle me this, in your exegetical insight on the scriptures book, under the discussion of the name Caleb. First, why did you give dog as the origin for the name Caleb only, and reject the Hebrew alternate meanings, faithful, zealous, wholehearted, bold, and brave? Second, why did you place the least familiar Caleb before the familiar Caleb? Was it to stress the phrase skilled craftsman to hint at Freemasonry? In fact, under the discussion of wisdom, we find the word combination, skill and craft, in that order, tied to the mention of the Greek origin of Sophia. Now, the beginning three letters of the words skill and craft, S-A-C, are the abbreviation for sacrifice. When the words are reversed, we arrive at C-A-S, the initials for Caleb and Sophia. Finally, when the words are further decoded, we arrive at C-S-A, the acronym code for child, sex, abuse. Now, Watchtower Society, why for the name Sophia is there no dedicated and full discussion of this name as there is with the name Caleb? It's because Sophia is inextricably tied to Greek philosophy and paganism, and this would give you away, right? With all the good biblical girl names, why would you, the self-styled only earthly channel of the Judeo-Christian God, rather choose blend than trademark an originally pagan name with an adoptively Christian name, anyway? I'll tell you, it's because you are helplessly worldly, an apostate Christian cult, a clandestine anti-Christian wayward secret brotherhood, whose very existence it is to defile, weaken, and destroy Christianity, and with it, inveterate Christians. Now, take your trademark title, Caleb and Sophia. When one substitutes Christian for Caleb, then pagan for Sophia, she gets the hidden title, Christian and pagan. This is religious syncretism, the blending of two or more religious belief systems into a new system. This is said to be, by you, an absolute no-no for your followers. Now, when one substitutes dog for Caleb, then skill for Sophia, she gets the hidden title, dog and skill, really, skilled dog. While your disdain of academia is well known, this goes way beyond anti-academe. Yours is to say that children are beasts of burden. Yours is bestial and dehumanizing, and encourages doltishness, suppression, and the deprivation of children. This is an absolute no-no, period. In fact, Watchtower Society, all of your encounters with the Jehovah's Witnesses are as obedience classes for their continual classical conditioning and brainwashing, because you see them all as dogs, sons and daughters of bitches and sires, litters to be leashed, and it seems, fondled, and fucked. I'm D. Turnbow, third generation, now ex-Jehovah's Witness. I am the author of the book, False, Jehovah's Witness and Watchtower Religions. Please like, and please subscribe. Soon I'll disclose the hidden secrets inside of the quietly kept sequel, the Caleb and Sophia, Be Truthful film. Now, as I promised, Caleb's whereabouts. Since throughout the Be Generous animation film, the Watchtower artist has made dual or multi-use of a word or words as hidden codes. Again, at 17 seconds into the film, there is that sunspot on the ice cream glass lid. The words 8, son, S-U-N, are the code for 8, son, S-O-N. Now, where son is a male child, A is the prefix meaning without, or absent and missing. But Caleb is alive where he shows up in the sequel to the Be Generous film, Be Truthful. We know this is secretly the sequel, because at the beginning of the Be Truthful film, there are stupid rose petals flying, then resting on Caleb's head, which are reminiscent of the dogwood petals flying in the prequel, the Be Generous film. The meaning here is that the responsibility to tell about the elder pedophile is on his head. Now, 13 seconds into the Be Generous film, look at the right side of the canopy. The first of the two falling petals magically disappears behind the cloud. then reappears to eventually fall past the vent. Now unless I missee, the first petal sharpens as it falls past the vent, then somewhat rounds off. This is to symbolize the act of stabbing and penetrating, then the flowing of blood. Regarding vent, the Etymology Online Dictionary states, and I quote, anus, close quote. Even if I missaw and the first petal is the same as the second petal, then both petals symbolize blood, from Caleb being pierced and stabbed. Regarding the word dogwood, for the suspiciously foreign number, dogwood trees, in the background of the Be Generous film, from which all the petals fly, the Etymology Online Dictionary explains, and I quote, compare dagger, to pierce or stab, close quote. Now from davesgarden.com, we find, and I quote, flowers may arise between bracts, flowers may be separated from bracts, and bracts can be present without flowers. Bracts can be leaf-like, as in petal-like, as on dogwoods. Close quote. Finally, regarding bract, from the Etymology Online Dictionary, we get, and I quote, bract, thin metal plate. Close quote. What does this mean? Caleb was thrusted, wounded, bound and gagged, and sexually abused, then contained in the ice cream cart. In video lesson 20, notice the vase that Caleb takes and the pieces he kicks under the table are painted red like the ice cream cart. From the Online Etymology Dictionary, the origin of vase is container. Notice, the ice cream lid was never lifted. This symbolizes the term, not blowing the lid off, because Caleb is inside, where the five-louvered vent cover seems to cry out the five-letter spelling of the name Caleb. Back at the Be Truthful sequel, at 9 seconds, Caleb's kicking, of course with his foot, meaning ped, for pedophile, is Caleb kicking and screaming at the pedophile elder attacker. Now, regarding the expression, under the table, the Online Etymology Dictionary writes, and I quote, hidden from view, close quote. Caleb's breaking the vase, with a plane, and trying to hide it under the table, in plain view, is Caleb's breaking out of the ice cream cart where he was hidden, in plain view. We know this because the Etymology Online Dictionary continues, and I quote, table, from Latin tabula, a painted panel, close quote. Notice the front panel on the ice cream cart is painted with a sinister and mouthful ice cream face, upside down. From UrbanDictionary.com, we get, and I quote, ice cream face, slang for foliaceous, close quote. Still at the Be Generous film, look at the large vent cover on the side of the ice cream cart, beginning at 13 seconds. While I concede that a vent is used for airflow to keep a refrigerator motor from overheating, the vent here is not for refrigeration at all, because 1. The ice cream pans would not be at the opposite end of the ice cream pans, and 2. The refrigerator would likely be placed at the lowest pitch end of the cart for quick condensation drainage. If the ice cream pans, which at 17 to 18 seconds, are shown empty, where at 19 seconds they are not, were on the same side of an assumed refrigerator, this would make more sense. The vent symbolizes giving oxygen to constrained young victims, as the ice cream cart represents a hotbed for children everywhere. We know this because, at 17 seconds, the petal at the top louver on the vent is not a petal at all, but a flame, the sick irony of the Watchtower artist. Finally, 12 seconds into the film, see the wheel or spokes. I say this is the 12th hour of the Watchtower Society, so let's continue to be the spokes, but rather, of goodwill, and protect the children, as we continue to act out against the Watchtower Society enabler, and its deadly predators until these two breeds are extinct. Thank you for listening.